Petrocast.
Hold on to your butts.
We are changing the course of history as we see it. That is what Western demands.
Now, this affects Iris. Iris, where are you?
What you feel only matters to you. I do not entertain hypotheticals. The world as it is vexing enough.
Iris, I have a tip for you.
Don't take drugs!
Or whatever movies with Wesley and Iris.
What up? You owe me $100.
Yep.
Why do you owe me $100?
I owe you $100 because I started Secret Agent in the middle of the day in broad daylight. And what was it, 22 minutes in? I was like, if Iris waits until the last minute to watch this, we are never recording this. There was just no way I thought you were going to get through it.
Well, the secret I harbored when you texted was that I was already halfway through. And I had the same reaction at about 54 minutes. I wonder what that says about us.
Well, we are back in 1970s dictatorship, civil and military and political unrest Brazil. You know how I felt about I'm Still Here, your favorite movie of last year. And now we're back, and I'm all messed up, dude. Convoluted storytelling. I was sitting there in the middle of the day. I had to stop this movie, and I watched The Rip, the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movie, in the middle of it before going back to it. I needed a jump start. I needed a reset. It was like movie caffeine. And I'm just all shiftless and useless and messed up right now.
I mean, day watching of movies can do that to you.
I think you and I are in a unique situation. You're all FOMO-y and about to hop on a plane, and I'm all just like lurching around and my schedule is all off and I haven't shaved or washed or anything.
Wow. That paints a very special picture for a discussion of The Secret Agent. By the way, the most decorated film of the Cannes Film Festival of 2025. Oscar-nominated Best Picture, Brazil's Hope, The Secret Agent.
Yeah. What was it that Burgess Meredith said in Grumpy Old Men?
Well, it's random.
You can wish in one hand and crap in the other and see which fills up first. I've decided, remember we talked about me going into movies with a more positive attitude?
Yeah.
So I'm thrilled to talk about The Secret Agent today out of Brazil, a Best Picture contender.
Yeah, but you can only fake it for so long.
Nope, I'm going to be unfailingly positive. Iris,
okay.
Why did you love The Secret Agent?
So in chronological order, some medium-rich dude knocks up a 14-year-old. They have a baby. It's Armando/Marcelo. Marcelo gets married to some whippersnapper who defends him vehemently to the scary guy, who is like an academic, but like a real mustache twirler. And then she dies, although I don't think we ever find out why or how. And then we spend a whole lot of time with Marcelo/Armando, but then he dies mysteriously off screen, No Country for Old Men style. Spoiler. And then there's a whole bunch of people a long time later listening to the tapes of Armando's case. And one of the listeners kind of like pseudo falls in love with Armando, seeks Armando's son out, who's also played by the same actor. And then the son's like, yeah, I don't know my dad. Is that the story of The Secret Agent?
Well, with notable omissions.
I mean...
What about the homophobic zombie leg?
I don't know that it was homophobic. I think it was just opportunistic. And love parks or whatever were a big thing in Latin America.
It loved parks. The severed shark leg loved parks and wanted to go for a hoppy stroll.
No. Parques de Amor. Love parks. Like parks where people go to make out.
The leg is like, parks are my thing. I'm going to hop around and I'm going to spot the people that I wish to target and kick.
That was representative of all of the other stuff in this movie that maybe was interesting, but were detours that went nowhere.
So,
I mean, literally nowhere. So
detours.
Much detail. I think that they were supposed to be like, this is life kind of a thing, but actually meaningless to the story itself.
Do you remember when he went into the football helmet phone booth and called the dude? And the dude was like, you need to get to a secure line, bro. And he was like, okay, well, how do I do that or whatever, right? And then he goes into the theater and he talks to some people and some stuff happens. And it is literally 10 minutes of screen time before he ever gets that guy back on the line. He sends him a telegram, and that convolution of meandering through the story where life happens sometimes is 10 minutes. They felt the need to represent those 10 minutes fully on screen before we could continue that phone call.
Was that real time?
Well, no, but the point is that there was a lot of minutia that maybe I started it, and 20 minutes in, I was like, we have to be halfway through this movie, right? And there's been no inciting incident. Because I thought the body was the inciting incident, not to anybody, not to the cops.
I was like, oh, wow,
nobody.
They're really getting right to it. Oh,
Right?
wow, this mystery, like Fargo style, is starting immediately.
And so I paused it, and I was like, how far are we? And then I texted you immediately because there was 6 hours left of the runtime, which equated to a week's worth of viewings for you, starts and stops. I'm all turned around. I got up super early in the morning before dawn so I could talk to my fiance who's on the other side of the world right now. Everything is off. I was super agitated watching this movie. I couldn't tell if I was agitated because I was watching this movie or if this was just not the right time for me to delve into The Secret Agent.
Is the minutia what makes people say that this movie is extraordinary? Because to me, that seems like bad crafting.
I've often spoken about what I consider to be an American style of filmmaking. There can probably be no better style of American filmmaking for what I'm talking about. That this movie, I keep wanting to call it The Station Agent. The Secret Agent, more like the stationary agent. Get it? Get it? Mm-mm. Because he doesn't go anywhere or do anything and nothing really happens. You know this movie is categorized as a thriller? A thriller, dude. Were you thrilled? That's the same category as Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's The Rip. But it's told in this languid style that we're supposed to be leaning in. And there's undercurrents of tension and we're supposed to have things slowly revealed to us. Not like a mystery, but sort of like a whodunit. Like who is the secret agent? Because it's certainly not Wagner Maura, who I only know from Civil War. Do you recognize him? Do you realize he was the head journalist from Civil War?
Oh, does he go into the final battle with Kirsten Dunst?
Anyway.
Well, he seemed much younger in Civil War. Did they age him up for the secret agent?
I don't know. Or down. Wasn't he the son?
I think they aged him up for Marcelo and then aged him down.
Okay.
But those dimples won't quit.
He's like a national treasure. He is the Pedro Pascal of Brazil.
But he's very Pedro Pascal-like.
Yep. It's the
Old,
mustache
bearded, and likable.
those cheeks.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at is this movie is intentionally subversive, but also tied in a very not American film style way to culture. We talked about I'm Still Here and why should I care when nothing seems to be happening, but all the things are supposed to be happening under the surface. And the leg, I came to understand, not entirely from this movie watching experience, that is a real legend. It's like a real news story. Oh, look, a leg that was in the water came to life and started kicking people in the park at night. And they're using this fiction to sell. It was attributed to a journalist in particular who is countering the authoritarian regime's ability to censor news and articles about political and civil unrest, in that you can blame stuff on a leg and the military won't censor it because he's not talking about the fact that apparently the regime was actively killing gay men and throwing their bodies into the water, where presumably some of them would get eaten by sharks. So if a phantom leg did it, then you can publish it in an article and the military won't censor it. And so that's what it was. It was never intended to be real. Thanks for letting us know.
So the government was letting the leg take the fall?
Well, just
They were like, it was like escape leg?
It wasn't an article criticizing the regime, so they let it slide, but it was effectively reporting on the fact that people had been killed.
Okay, so are you all mad because you bought the shark leg story?
I didn't. Well,
You're like,
no,
what's happening in this supernatural thriller?
no, because it was too random. It wasn't like, this is what's happening. I was like, this is not right and weird. It doesn't have a place in the story as presented. There's got to be something more going on. So I was compelled to look more into it. But I think that was the intention for the entirety of the film. Who is the Armando character? Is he the secret agent? They kind of keep hinting at it, and I think it was supposed to be a revelation that he wasn't. What are the circumstances? Why are we following this person? What kind of end did he come to? Was it nefarious? We don't know, but it shows up in the newspaper. And we were supposed to follow and track the corrupt police guy. We were supposed to revel in Udo Kier's, this is his last role, the German guy with all the scars. We were supposed to follow his process, and it wasn't just like, why are they picking on this dude and making him show his scars? And what relevance does it have to the story? They're expecting us to dig a little bit deeper. Like Mom not spreading out her stuff at her pineapple shows. She wanted people to go into the boxes and rummage around for treasures.
I'm still stuck on Armando wasn't the secret agent. Was Ziva or Zila?
Don't know, and in a previous
Was she
life
the secret agent?
would have emphatically stated don't care. Don't know.
There's so many unanswered questions.
Yeah, there are a lot, and that's life, dude. That's just how life was in Brazil, and things are expected to be important, but the misdirect is it's unceremonious, and maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know, but you loved it.
Let's just take the unanswered questions one by one. What do you think was the purpose of the Hans scar scene?
I think it was intended to show that the nationalism or what he was disregarded. Wasn't he the one that was accused of being Jewish?
Yeah, I think he was Jewish.
Okay. But the corrupt police guy was all drunk with power or whatever, and maybe literally drunk as well, and was just throwing his weight around. He brought people in to show them, to humiliate the guy, because the real power structure doesn't matter. It's all about corruption and humiliating him and revealing that things are disfigured under the surface. Just under his shirt, his clothes, things are not what they seem. That everything was supposed to be questioned, I think.
What was the point of Marcelo's fling with the other secret agent, with the other refugee?
This is what the dad was questioning him about?
Mr. Alexander was questioning Marcelo about his infidelity to his daughter, which I think was part and parcel with him messing around with the other refugee at the safe house.
Mm-hmm.
But she had like a daughter and stuff. Was it just like, we're both gonna die, let's hook up?
I'm sure in extreme situations like Speed, our discussion for which is available or orwhatevermovies.com or wherever you get podcasts.
Was that supposed to be the B story love story, or was that between Marcelo and his father-in-law?
No, I think it was meant to humanize him and also cast some doubt on his character. Because
he's like a player?
We're watching him the whole time, trying to figure out who he is, what his motivations are, if he is the secret agent that the title proclaims. It's not very secret if you call your movie that, except maybe he wasn't. And so who is this guy? He's kind of inscrutable, and we're watching him closely, and we see glimpses of the exterior shaken. He wasn't the suave James Bond type, and indeed ended up just being a regular dude, spoiler, and thus did regular dude things. I think.
I think that's like your punctuation mark for this review. It's like, I think. So at the end, or near the end-ish, because this movie was kind of interminable, they were having their little powwow, all the refugees, that's what I'm calling them. Although I think they actually they had a big discussion about why that term was passé and not appropriate anymore. I don't really understand what was going on there. But the people who were at the safe house, they were having their little powwow, and both Marcelo and his lover announced that they're receiving death threats. And then the brother and sister duo let slip that they're going to leave. And then the house mom reveals that they're going to Sweden. And then the other guy who's sitting there who looks innocent, but is like bad and probably a double agent or something, is like clocking the fact that they're going to Sweden. Is our imagination supposed to fill in the gaps, all of the terrible things that happen to all of these people? And is that supposed to be the magic of this filmmaking? That everything, kind of like I'm Still Here, where everything that's actually dramatic and cinematic happens off screen.
Inferred, but maybe it all happens on screen. It's just not Netflix the rip in your face. I do think, to answer your question, that there was much that we were supposed to infer from those looks, and from that we derive most of our movie going, enjoying experience. Because nothing was clearly stated, every look like that was important. I did notice the style of filmmaking. It seemed like in a brutalist kind of way, a very old style, filtered down to evoke a late 70s kind of vibe. But did you notice the shots filled with a series of, I suppose, very telling or deliberate inserts, close-ups on hands and things being exchanged and movements, cigarettes, and things like that. And I think it's to draw our eyes to specific things without telling us overtly why we're focused on those things. But there were so many of them in 9 hours, I think? The first season of The Secret Agent, at least, had so many of them, I lost track of what I was presumably supposed to focus on, because I was like, oh, that dead body's definitely coming into play in the first 6 episodes of this movie, right? And then just doesn't. The body represents the decay of the foundations, the political and military foundations of the state that were cast aside, just dead, and nobody cared. The cops had no interest in the body. They wanted their corrupt handouts. They were looking into other stuff and going about their day. And we're focused entirely on the body and who is the secret agent and what's his name? Armando's motivations. And if you don't care, boy, this thing kicks you off the train onto the tracks really quickly.
The body had so much promise.
Yeah. I was like, this is Wes Anderson making a Tarantino movie. And then I thought, this is Wes Anderson making a Coen Brothers movie. And then the leg thing happened, and I was like, I don't know what this is anymore.
So the leg, the body, yes, representative of decay and the extremes of, that nobody cares. The body is also revealed shortly after the introductory message that we get. Something about this being a time full of mischief. And maybe it's just the word choice in the translation that threw me. But it made me think that this movie was lighthearted and that there weren't a lot of stakes. Like, this was just a time where people are acting like children dancing in the street at Carnival. That all the gay people at the park were just having fun and free love and like living up the 70s in Brazil. But I got the impression later that there were supposed to be real stakes. I guess I never had them because the movie took those out kind of almost immediately, especially when nothing happened with the body.
What, you're not Brazilian? Have you ever even been to Brazil?
Yes, of course.
Have you ever
Come
even
on.
seen other Best Picture Brazilian nominees?
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time, 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
It seems like in these cases that a film should have more directly hit a mark with you, or we should have been on board. I went all the way through Triangle of Sadness. I saw I'm Still Here, watched City of God. I get that Triangle of Sadness was not a Brazilian film. I transitioned there a little bit. But, I mean, don't you think, weren't you like, what's in that suitcase? Is that cop going to find that suitcase tucked over by the spare tire? He's the secret agent, and that's got his John Wick shit in there, right? That he's going to get busted for. And there's going to be a shootout in the gas station, and he's going to use the dead body for cover, Django style.
And that's all interesting, and it keeps you in a little bit of suspense. But the everyday, maybe American movie watcher can only take so much.
What I'm saying, bruh.
It's like they're all just tiptoeing around, being secretive and playing at agent.
Were they, though? I mean, when they were coming at him and being like, debriefing him when he was telling the story about the dinner that turned violent or whatever, they were like, you're going to need a new, what was it, identity? And he was like, why? And because we're like, because you're the secret agent, dude. And he wasn't the secret agent.
I think he was the secret agent.
You do?
I mean, honestly, who was the secret agent if he wasn't the secret agent? It was Zella or Ziva?
I don't know, dude.
She's not in the credits. It was the chick who came in at about an hour and a half, and then he starts blabbing.
How could the titular secret agent not be in the credits?
At least I would like to believe that this all makes sense. Like, if you understand 1970s era Brazilian politics a little bit more, you understand what the academic scandal was all about and why the engineering guy was all pissed about the patents and how he's a super arch villain, and that there were these movements that secreted people who were valuable to some kind of resistance or something, or at least worthy of being saved. And that was a noble thing in a mischievous time. I mean, maybe this just isn't a movie for us. I was going to say an American movie-going audience, but maybe that's not the case because this was nominated for Best Picture.
Like you said, the most widely decorated movie at Cannes. Wagner Moura won the Golden Globe. He beat out ya boy and everybody else. It's nominated for Best Picture. It's got rave reviews. It was a smash, albeit surprise hit in Brazil. People love it. We're missing it. I consider it at least my failure for having missed it. Maybe I'm not in the right place. Maybe I wasn't ready for convoluted and for creeping dread and subversive themes. I mean, years later, I was like, okay, they've got earbuds in and computers and stuff. This is significant. One of them was clearly more bored than the other, like just doing their duty, and the other one was leaning forward. And I think it was kind of representative of the audience going into this movie. Because you're an Agatha Christie fan, and every clue, every action, every item could be a clue. Or you're like, oh, just tell me who it is. I don't want to turn to the last page, but if you keep messing with me, that's what I'm going to have to do. And then when the mystery is revealed at the end, people are like, oh, because remember the thing with the candlestick in the study with Colonel Mustard? And everybody else is like, yeah, no, totally. And we're like, wait, what?
But maybe this is the point of the secret agent. Because literally one of those researchers was like listening, but also playing a computer game.
Yeah.
And so, she's pretty checked out. They're researching this for whatever reason. I can't think of why, but they're researching this at another university, and it's some kind of project or whatever, and one of them takes to it a little bit. So, okay. But the point is they're remembering from a distance. And Marcelo's own son doesn't remember his dad, doesn't even really care to remember his dad. So I think the theme is you're forgotten. The past is the past. We don't learn from it. People don't care. People don't even care about their ancestors, let alone people who may have fought and died for important causes. Maybe my biggest problem is that this movie itself and how it's presented is all in support of this theme that it doesn't really matter. Like Marcelo's son is standing outside and he's like, And he's like, you remember my dad more than I do. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't remember writing him a letter and saying, I want to live with you. I like Grandma and Grandpa a lot, but I miss you and I've always forgotten Mom and I love you and I want to live with you. Doesn't remember that. Or is he choosing not to? I don't know.
His father's not a huge figure in his life. Kids have their own interests and their friends, and it's tough enough to identify with or relate to your parents when you're, a kid with both parents in the house, or when you travel back to 1955 and hang out with your parents when they're your age for a week. There's still going to be a disconnect. Maybe this movie was showing that people under this regime, people who were undesirable, who might have hits out against them, who were professors, or what was he? He wasn't like a researcher. He was
He was a research scientist, academic.
Maybe it's not that it doesn't matter. Maybe like the guy in I'm Still Here, he was just erased. Like it should be a big thing that her husband was taken away, but nobody seems to care. Nobody has answers. What's-her-nuts goes on a journey of her own because that's her husband, whom she knows intimately. Is the son, who has no information and doesn't understand the cause that his dad seemed to represent to some people, is he going to go on a fact-finding mission? Or is it not that it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter to him because he was so effectively erased by this regime, the dad was, or the husband in I'm Still Here? That these things are downplayed, suppressed, because everything happens under the surface and it's all corrupt. They just erase pieces of history or people who threaten the regime. And maybe there is something to the fact that it's all important and it's being suppressed. And I don't know if that correlates to the film and the filmmakers deliberately making things subversive and hard to understand. But it does seem like there was a huge structure of power in place that nobody understood. And because it wasn't in their face, that was the power of this regime to just suppress the kind of activism. And so all this energy and all this enthusiasm is maybe funneled into carnival and daily life. And don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. Focus on the shiny stuff, and your family members will soon be forgotten. Don't worry about that over there. Look over here, or whatever. It's got to be important. Just to who is it important, and why isn't it important to the people to whom it should be important?
Maybe we're not those people.
I'm not those people for 50 years ago Brazil. Sorry. I'm apparently not those people for subversive Brazilian films that seem to be having a moment, films of this type. People were like, it's a big deal in international markets. Not so much here, but the Academy's like, we have 10 slots and we gave it to F1, so maybe it should go to this international crowd-pleasing thing. Like, it was a big thing at the Golden Globes, but the Golden Globes is run by the Hollywood Foreign Press. International movies are more their thing. I don't know, man. That's the best I can do to justify the existence and the fact that I sat through 16 hours of season 1 of The Secret Agent, coming out the other side not having been impressed or to realize the importance of what I presume is a largely fictional characterization of a person who was not considered desirable by the regime.
Yep. There's a couple different kinds of discussions at Or Whatever Movies. The kind where we discuss culturally how a film makes an impact, or we talk about plot and story mechanics. And I think the best kind of discussion is where we're actually talking about the themes that a film brings up. And
for us personally?
For us personally at Or Whatever Movies. And I think it's interesting because we've talked a lot about the themes, the presumed themes of The Secret Agent, but then there's the fourth discussion category, and that is the what the hell is going on conversation. And obviously the majority of this is about what is actually happening in The Secret Agent, if anything at all, or maybe it's all the stuff that happens on screen is pointing to the things that happen off screen. And maybe that's kind of interesting, and maybe there's some themes that are relevant universally and cross-cultural divides or barriers or whatever you call them. So there's something interesting there, but yeah, it's been a long time where I felt like I could say really clearly that a film did not work for me.
So you didn't want to dig through the sand to find the Brazilian tooth of this, the tooth, get the tooth of this movie?
Was that a tooth fairy, the Brazilian tooth fairy tradition reference from I'm Still Here?
Man, look at that. You remembered. Let it be noted, please, that movies can also inhabit multiple of the categories you mentioned. It can be what the hell is going on and like leaning in, trying to figure it out. Really interesting personal connections.
If it pays off, if it comes together, if the story beats and points are actually relevant to the story that the filmmakers are telling. And maybe they are, they're just indirectly. It's just so indirect. It's infuriating.
It is. And I think that's the strength of our little family podcast, in that we bring to the masses how the movie experience bears on us personally. How I am lurching around and all out of sorts and empty and confused and a little bit numb, like the fallout in I'm Still Here, or the son in, what's this movie called? The Secret Agent. Stuff is happening and I have to go through life and there's minutia, but it seems to have lost its meaning. And maybe in that way this movie was perfectly positioned to confound the ever-loving heck out of me.
Aw, hang in there, Wes.
Yeah.
And that's our discussion on Academy Award nominated Best Picture, The Secret Agent. Check out the discussion we referenced on I'm Still Here at orwhatevermovies.com or wherever you get podcasts. And if you completely disagree with us, if you could illuminate The Secret Agent for us, let us know, 818-835-0473 or whatevermovies@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. We hope you're enjoying this award season at Or Whatever Movies, and see you next time.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. With real Coca-Cola taste and zero sugar. Listen closely. Hear those bubbles? That's the sound of delicious real Coca-Cola taste and zero sugar. Ice cold. Ah. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coca-Cola taste. Zero sugar.
Have you ever wondered what actually happens in Congress every day? Stay informed on Capitol Hill's daily happenings with a concise, factual summary of the Senate and House of Representatives' activities from the previous session, free from bias, on the Congressional Record Daily Digest podcast. Subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and discover the process from the heart of U.S. politics. The Congressional Record Daily Digest, an Electricast production.
Electricast. Electricast.